Alright, old girl, I know it's been a while. Alright! Alright, it's looking to be another just an eventful day. My day off, so, trying to get everything done that I can. And at the time I'm recording this, Thanksgiving is about 3 days away. So we're bringing this this chuck roast that I got from my dad that's from, our family's butchers and everything. Going to my aunt's house, gotta wash the car, just got my hair cut, and then I have a whole bunch of other stuff I gotta do today. So I'm gonna try to fit it all in, and yeah, it's time to get started. Alright, I guess we'll see how this goes. This is one of my favorite touchless ones, but I don't really know how well it does. Alright, all my errands have been ran. I got some snacks that I already ate and some drink. Let's get into this. Okay, so obviously the title of the video is what's changed with the EG. I'm giving you a huge update. Since I bought it, not a whole lot really. I mean, I put a quick release steering wheel and I switched the seats out for an LS Integra type. But there's one massive thing that I've changed since I bought this car. And, well, obviously the wheels. It doesn't have anything to do with what I've showed you so far. It's actually here underneath of the hood. So if I come over here, see if I can get this with just one hand. Does that engine look familiar? Yeah, so this is actually the engine that I had out of the Del Sol that I did that video on earlier, the D16 Z6. That's this. I swapped it into this car, and I'm still working on building that B series right now. But yeah, so I put this in here, and I'd like to kind of talk about what my future plans for this vehicle are. Okay, so I'm actually here editing the video, and it's gotten to the point where I'm about to go into the main subject of the entire video, and somehow, I don't know how I missed this, but the audio is absolutely terrible, and I just wanted to apologize for that really quickly. I'm actually really disappointed in how this turned out, but the information is still there, and I still want to get it out, so hopefully you can look past that. In the future, I'll be taking steps to eliminate this problem entirely, but yeah, super disappointed, but please look past that. Okay, so let's kind of get into that. I bought this car March of just last year, so I've had it for about 5-6 months. And this is kind of my entry into getting into the Honda world. I had a Mustang at the time before I bought it, and honestly I never got to drive that car. I talked about it I think in a few other videos, but I just never had really the opportunity because it just was always breaking down. It's a typical Ford thing. But I wanted so bad for that car to be something, and I tried so hard to get it to where it was, and every time something broke I would upgrade that part. I'd push it further, make it better. Like, I was always trying to improve that vehicle. And it just got to the point where I had shoveled so much money into this car that wasn't even running, and then I tried to upgrade the ignition system, and it didn't start after that, and I just gave up. That was probably around January when I sold that car. And then March, this one my friend bought, and it ran like not even gonna lie. We were pretty sure. I asked a couple of the people that knew more about Hondas at the time. I asked them, and they thought the engine was blown because he had jumped timing, two-stepping it, and then after that it kind of ran bad. So I was under the impression it was a bad engine or needed a head, and so I'm like, look, dude, and I got a pretty good deal on it. And I mean, of course, I didn't buy it with the wheels, and then I had the B18 in it, which engine is pretty good. And my initial plan with that engine was to put it back in this, but built. So I've already gone through and done all the machine work, which I'll be covering that. And my plan is to go like more of a high compression turbo on E85, so making some decent power. And then my original plan was to put it into this, and then maybe eventually doing an all-wheel drive swap or something like that. So about 2 or 3 weeks with my engine out of this car, and I was already sent it to the machine shop and everything. The Del Sol became available. A buddy of mine that I work with now, it's the same guy that actually owned the red car originally, decided he wanted to get rid of the Del Sol, and I saw the car. It's super clean, and I was like, I've always wanted one of these, and I just bit the bait. I took the car, and so that leaves me here with this one, which is definitely still not a terrible place to start. I mean, it is still a fun car. It's in relatively okay shape compared to what you find on Marketplace. It's never been perfect. There's always been issues and things that bother me, but it's just kind of what comes with it. And I'm sure you've seen some of those. Like, there's a little rust hole in the back fender over there. I'm missing some trim in places that should be there. And little things like it rattles, it squeaks, the dash is cracked. Just stuff like that. It's just it's an okay example of a car. But I really favor the Del Sol. It's a lot more fun to drive for me. I like the way I feel driving it more. And like when I did the video, I mean, I love that car really. I love this car too, but I just love that car a little more. And so it's kind of come to the conclusion where it's like, what do I want to do? I could build this car to be something. I don't know. I don't really feel like doing that. So the issue with the D series engine that I have with the single cam is that the engine kind of smokes already, and I don't know if that's because the rings are worn. I have no idea on what the mileage or anything is on. I don't know if it's the valve seats, but either way, I'm going to have to kind of separate this engine and kind of dig into it to find out what I need. And if it ends up being, rings or something like that, then I'm going to have to jump down this whole rabbit hole that I'm already doing with the B Series. And so my train of thought at this point, put the D Series into this engine, which I did, the single cam into this engine, and then with my B Series, put that, after it's built, and to the Del Sol. My goal is to kind of keep that with a lot of the stock amenities. I still want to have power steering, I still want to have AC, those kind of creature comforts, but I would also really like the power to go up, and I think that build would be more unique. It kind of fits where I'm at a little more. This car is extremely loud and kind of raunchy, which is fun in its own way, but for my day-to-day, and even when I'm trying to get, a little crazy, I don't like, super loud and raunchy. I kind of like clean, like well-built, pristine, more or less. So kind of what I'm trying to say is I think I'm going to sell this car with the D Series in it, which it runs and drives. There is still one issue I want to kind of fix with the idle air control, which I believe you saw in the beginning where it revs up too high, and then as the car's warming up, it doesn't really know where to go, and so it'll sit there and kind of like do that like with the vacuum leak. It revs up and then down and up and then down, and it does that a couple times every time you let off the clutch while the car's not until it's up to operating temperature. So I got to fix that little issue, but other than that, I think this car is really ready to go on its life with a new owner. I don't know who that's going to be. I hope to make some money on this, but the ultimate goal with that would be to have more money for my other projects. So I have more free cash to finish out the B Series. I'm planning something with my girlfriend's car. I'll be filming more of that later. Planning on J Series swapping that car and then basically doing a full restoration. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe. It's free, and I promise you'll like it. And that way you can get the footage of the build process of putting a J Series in a Generation 1 Acura Legend. That car needs some serious work, and that J Series swap is going to take quite a while. And so in order to do all this, I'm going to need some extra free cash floating around. So getting rid of this car just kind of makes the most sense for me right now. Plus, I don't need one more thing to work on. I'm already working a lot, and I'm already really busy. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with this car. It's kind of sad to say, like, I know I still like it. I really do. I love driving it. I've been taking it around for the past day or so, making sure everything runs reliably with the engine, and it does. Just like it did before. I'm not really too worried about that. Just that one issue that I have to fix. But, the car's in pretty good shape, I'd say. I've done some work to it. I fixed the window regulator. I've obviously done the steering wheel, like I said, which I'm just going to sell with this car. Oh, I totally forgot. There's a sticker here on the windshield still. When I took it to the Import Spring Summer Show, which we have local here in Utah. And it's basically just a giant car show, and I actually entered this vehicle in. Not expecting to win any prizes. It's not in that good of shape. But it was just a total new experience for me, because I was able to go and actually be part of a car show and get to see all this stuff and be part of what was there. And it was mostly things that I knew about at this time. Old car shows with classics are cool and all, but those are just so old school and unattainable at this point. And plus they're cool, but they're not my vibe. So I don't really enjoy those as much. But that was just a really fun memory, and it really pushed me into wanting to do more stuff with cars. And I'm going to miss that about this car. It's going to live in my memory box forever. I have pictures of it and stuff. But yeah, I think I'm just ready to send this one off and on to a new owner. Hopefully that's a good decision. I haven't really decided yet, but that's what my plan is for now. We'll see how that goes. In case you guys are wondering, that car wash absolutely sucked. There's still bird poop on my window. It missed a bunch of spots on the hood or the roof. I don't know if you can see those right now. But there's a spot here it didn't even clean. That's just dirt I can wipe away with my finger. And the water spotting. Oh boy, the water spotting is everywhere. I guess that's what I get for buying one. I'll have to clean it anyways, but at least it cleaned off some of the dirt. Yeah, this window is still covered. It's gonna be a process. I gotta clean this thing up still. It's definitely not in what I'd consider shape to be selling. There's dirt and stuff everywhere, but yeah. So I'm on my way out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.